Tonight, 8 heroes, 8 villains, 16-man tournament for the rights to name the firstborn child of the gaming lovers. What is this podcast?
I remember when this podcast used to be about video games.
The Gaming Lovers Podcast with Brendo and Jem.
G'day and welcome to the Gaming Lovers Podcast, episode 108. I'm Jem.
I'm Brendo, and it is going to be a fight for the ages, a single elimination tournament, 16 names. We're going to decide what the actual name of our... No. We're just going to have a bit of fun here.
Never know.
Yeah, hey, we might like the name. We've got some names in this tournament that we do actually like.
Yes.
We're not revealing if any of them are actually on our short list, but we may have a few dogs in this fight.
Yes. We've also got some really random ones in there too because we want to keep things interesting. And
you need high stakes.
We honestly have no idea what name will be victorious by the end of this episode. It is all going to be done as we record, and the chips will fall where they may.
And the good thing is Elon Musk has set the bar this year, so we can't get anywhere near that. Whatever name we pick will be acceptable.
Didn't that name actually get deemed illegal, that they weren't allowed to, otherwise it was deemed like child cruelty or something?
Look, we're not dealing with specifics and actual court cases here. I don't know if there's any legal ramifications of discussing this. He has a lot of money. I don't want to get on his bad side.
That's true. He basically runs an SNL, right? Anyways, before we get to all the shenanigans of this episode, it is time for
Gaming Goals. And in an incredible display of determination, focus, and perseverance, Jem actually played some games this week.
I did. I'm so proud of me. I have officially started The Outer Worlds. Yay.
That's a pat on the back for you.
Yep.
Nice work.
Thank you. It was fun. And I spent you were like, yes, I want to sit and watch you start this. And then you realised there was a create a character mode and you're like, oh, man.
Yeah, cool. Start it now. I've got half an hour before I have to leave for work. And, yeah, I'm not going to see any gameplay because Jem has to create a character. We all know how she is when it comes to sliders and settings and getting...
I like to tweak it exactly right.
Hey,
thank you.
Look, I understand that for some people, they can just create a character, just go randomise, yes, that's me. My name is John. Done.
Boring.
And you have to make sure your nostrils are the exact width that you want.
If it gives me that option. I mean, I don't want huge nostrils.
You must make sure your ears are folded at the precise 7-degree lean that you deem attractive. I don't know. I've seen you tweak every single option that there is to be tweaked.
Uh-huh.
I just go, yeah, the rest looks good. I'll just change the eye shape. Yep. And maybe a different hair. Yep. Done. And I'm happy with that. Because most of the time you just stick a helmet on anyway and you don't actually get to see your character.
You know, the last time that I had that option that I didn't actually really do much with it was Andromeda.
Mm.
Because all the customized ones turned out pretty awful, but there wasn't as many basic like a lot of the ones that you could customize were all very different ethnicities. And the only one that looked closest to me was the default one, and you can't customize that. So I just went, well, I guess I'm playing as the default. And yeah, so that's one of the many things that game copped backlash for. But anyway, going back to The Outer Worlds, I did speed up my process of building a character though, because I was aware that you were watching and I knew you wanted to actually see me start. So you got to see at least, a couple of minutes of gameplay.
It's just a bare few.
Yes. I had fun. And I have recruited 2 party members already.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still on the same planet. I haven't gotten very far. Like, it is one of those games that once you've done one thing, 3 more open up as far as side quests.
Yep.
But it's always, I love when I don't know which path to take as far as which side is trustworthy and which side is not. Like the lines are so grey in this game.
Morally.
Yes.
When you said you don't know which paths to take, I thought, yes, it is an open area. You can explore by the river. You can explore up on the hills. Who knows where you... Oh, you're talking about moral dilemmas.
Moral dilemmas. As far as story choice and knowing which faction to side with, or you've gone into great length about this game in the previous episode, so I don't feel like I need to rehash all of that. But
It has been a while, though, and I do like to hear your opinions on the things that I've already done. So it's fine.
My natural gut instinct was to not trust the main guy who's running this cannery, but part of me is like, well, I don't think he's 100% evil, but I don't think the people that have created their own kind of rebel base essentially are necessarily 100% good either. They all have their flaws, and you kind of want to find a good middle ground.
Mm.
So I've put a lot of points into my charisma, my influence, all that kind of stuff, because that's how I love to play these games. Very different to many of our friends who just make me strong and I will shoot everything up. And I'm the exact opposite. My melee and gun skills are very weak. The battles are a little bit slower, but that's okay. Sometimes I don't have to have battles because I am silver-tongued.
Mm.
Yes.
And it sounds like you are enjoying
I am.
the Outer Worlds.
So hopefully I get a chance to play a little bit more of that. And I'm not even going to try to say that I'm going to finish the game by a certain point, because who knows when Bub decides to make their grand entrance.
Bub that will be bestowed with a name
Yes.
through the incredible, scientifically, factually accurate 16-man tournament that we have coming up later on in this episode. It's going to be amazing.
Amazing.
So good. You've had a good week of gaming after a couple of duds.
Yes. I actually accomplished something.
I am glad. Who
In
is
the
your
midst-
favourite party member?
Oh. Well, I only just got the vicar. So I guess Pavati would be...
Don't worry. That answer won't change for the whole game. She is the best anyway.
She seems very sweet. She does... The game has reminded me a lot of just playing Firefly, basically, but video game format, with the type of ship that you're on.
The guitar strums.
Yeah,
every now and
the
again.
Western kind of sound.
Ding,
Everyone's kind of
ding,
disillusioned
ding.
with this new frontier that they were promised so much stuff, and now they're stranded on a crap planet. It is basically Firefly, the video game.
Yep.
So I'm all for that, because I love Firefly. So that's pretty rad.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I have been charging away at Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. If I want to get technical, it is the remastered version for the PS4 with all the DLC included. And I have been making quite a lot of progress this week in this game. Thank you. First of all, thank you. We have a lot to get ready around the house.
Yes.
We've made leaps and strides in the right direction to get you and I and the house ready for our baby, which could show up at any time now. We're in that end game zone. It could happen whenever. So we've wanted to make sure the nursery's set up correctly, all the baby furniture's done. We're putting in a few extra shelves and cupboards for extra storage of things. And most of our stuff has been done. But Brendo likes to work on Brendo's timetable when it comes to the jobs that Brendo has to do. And so there have been times where I have had a day off. I do have a headache. I don't want to put in that shelf right now. And you have been very nice and kind to your husband and let him just play some games here and there. So that's part of the reason I just wanted to say thank you for the amount of progress I got this week in Dark Souls 2.
You're very welcome. I feel like I've been a fairly sensible pregnant lady. I don't feel like I've had any major meltdowns or moments of irrationalness. You know how in movies and TV shows you see them just getting hysterical.
Pregzilla.
I mean, sometimes you're not always self-aware of when you are slipping into an emotional state and reacting to something for the wrong
After
reasons.
the fact, you'll know about it.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I've really had that. And you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, out of the two of us, I think I've had the higher level of mood swings, thanks to Dark Souls 2.
That's what you get for playing those games.
I absolutely adore exploration in these games. Everyone shouts from the rooftops how fun it is to have enormous, giant, tough boss fights. It's probably the least favourite part of the entire experience for me is the boss fights. And as a result, I have gone heavy armour, big giant shield, and a long stamina bar so that I can just keep blocking a lot of attacks. And it has continued to work for almost every enemy I've fought. It's like, you attack me, I block it, I'll throw in a quick hit at you, and then I'll go back to blocking. And considering Bloodborne was essentially my first Soulsborne game, and that's no blockies, just dodgies, dodge, 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 hit, 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 dodge, dodge, dodge. Then I play Dark Souls, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so much slower. And you have to get used to occasionally rolling, and then blocking, and then hitting, and then sort of finding the rhythm, working out the enemy's attack patterns. In this, I've just tanked the whole way, and it's like, all right, bring it on. I've just got my shield up around every corner, because I don't know where an attack's going to... Oh, there it comes. Did nothing. Cop that. Having said that, a couple of the bosses I have had to adjust the plan a little bit. My goodness, there was a lot of spiders recently, and large spiders at that. Always a good time in video games when creepy crawlies are coming.
Yep.
But overall, I ham.
You ham?
I ham.
Like from Toy Story, you ham?
Overall, I am working my way through Black Gulch at the moment.
Oh, not Blood Gulch?
Not Blood Gulch, Black Gulch. Down in the gigantic hole, which you just keep going down and down and down with blood splatters aplenty, where everyone has botched a landing on a little platform. This isn't Super Mario level of platforming. This is quite inaccurate. Your physics are a bit weird when you try to jump. And so nailing some of those jumps and falls, you see where people mucked up because you can see where the blood splats are, which is helpful. You see about 8 of them on one platform, you're like, I don't think I can survive that.
That's funny.
So that is funny. And then I worked my way down through there, through the rat swarm that you saw me take on, and continuing down through another series of gigantic falls, ended up in a place called the Gutter. And that was terrifying because it's almost pitch black. There's ladders that just go nowhere. There's trapdoors that you can just fall down, and like a gigantic pit. So I was working through that, saw a bonfire. Now the bonfires are like your checkpoints, your respawn points. You can fast travel between them all. So if you see a bonfire, your heart flutters with pleasantness because you're like, thank goodness, even if I muck it up, after I get that bonfire, I am golden. I see the bonfire, walk towards it, fall through a trapdoor and plummet and land in another room, and you can't climb things as easily as you can in other games.
Yeah.
You need a ladder, and even if something is like waist high, you can't jump up it. So the fact that I knew I was that close to that stupid bonfire and fell, and now I'm in an entirely unknown area. There's monsters coming at me that I've never fought before. There's ledges that could just fall and bits of wood that are just breaking off around me. That was among the most tense experiences I've ever had in that game. Thankfully, I did the Gutter in one shot.
Ooh.
Because I was cautious and careful and very, very, very light-footed when I was walking around. I didn't want to take any risky runs or jumps. Everything was calculated, and I was glad when I finally got through that area after about an hour of just slowly navigating. So lots of progress made this week. The Iron Keep I did. None of these names mean anything to you, but if someone has played Dark Souls 2, they will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The Iron Keep in particular has an optional boss called the Smelter Demon, who is
Whoever smelt it dealt it.
he's dealing something, and it is pain and suffering because he is the one. I believe it's like an optional boss because I got through the entire Iron Keep without killing him. But he is a problem. And I have not been able to find the solution to this problem because he starts off tough and armoured, and you attack him, and then he summons like fire within himself. So if you get close enough,
You get burnt.
you take fire damage. And then if you deal a bit more damage to him, he sticks his sword through himself, sets it on fire, and then he does more damage to you. And although I have my large, enormous tower shield that absorbs a lot of hits, it does nothing against the fire. So I'm continuously getting wounded. And there have been other bosses that have had things that I thought were unachievable, a giant poison arena, and then you find out later you can drain the poison, and then it's just a simple standard issue fight. So I don't know if there's another trick or a tactic that I'm missing on that Smelter Demon fight, but he has led to more deaths than probably anyone else in this entire game. It's one of the tricky things about the way Dark Souls is designed. There is so much that without a guide, and I'm trying to play without any guides, things are so cryptic, and the NPCs appear in one location and then they'll go to somewhere else, and it'll be somewhere you've already backtracked, but unless you know specifically where they are, you're never going to see them again. And unless you do a couple of meetings with them, you can't summon them to help you with the boss fights. So the NPCs in particular, without guides, I can't be bothered going through everywhere I've been to look for people that may or may not be somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's just one of those things that I can understand why people enjoy playing these games without guides. And I have been enjoying playing this without a guide. But sometimes you just hit those walls that if you used a guide, you wouldn't have walls as tall to climb over. And if they're more than waist high, you can't climb over them. That's the perfect parallel to this game. But that's pretty much exclusively what we've been playing. A little bit of Overcooked 2 multiplayer.
Yep.
But that, I believe, is our gaming goals for this week.
It is. Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to take a break. What, do you think there was going to be some sort of tournament coming up? Yes, there is. After this.
Share the love. Follow us on Twitter at Brendo Jem. That's BRENDOJEM.
Because of our specific interests are not in line with what the rest of our family take interest in, we have a lot more weirder ideas for baby names
Yes.
that they do not find appealing.
No. Although some of the names that we've suggested, right, have been normal, but they're just foreign names, like Japanese names. And my mum was like, I'll just call it something else. I'm like, you will not.
Now, we've always had interesting tastes when it comes to naming pets, and I know that naming a child is a lot more of a commitment because they have to live with it through school and through their working life.
Exactly. You don't want to give them something awful.
But look, we're not here. Look, the top 10 baby names for 2020 are already out. I don't understand how they calculated that because it's only, May? That doesn't make sense. We're not even halfway through the year.
Nearly halfway through the year, but still.
But I don't think you and I are the sort of people to name a child Lucas or Jack or William. You know, these sort of normal names. They're all in the top 10. But because we like so many video games, Japanese culture, we have a lot of weird names that we've collected over the years. And we thought it would be fun to let fate decide what our child, in theory, could be called. And so we have assembled 8 hero names.
Yes.
People of good moral standing, good characters, playable protagonists, some more normal than others.
Yeah.
Some that we may have already considered for a child's name. Some that were suggested by family members.
Yes.
Based off, what do you think we would call our child? And they give us names X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
And so we've compiled 8 that have some sort of significant meaning to us. And then we've also collected 8 antagonist names, villain names. And because the Gaming Lovers podcast has a no spoiler policy, we have not chosen any names for villains that you might be blindsided when they turn on your party or something.
Yeah.
We have picked villains who are villains.
Yes. Clear cut.
Clear-cut villains. So each round, in our 16-man tournament, because we are having a boy, so I can say 16-man tournament,
Yep.
we have faced off a hero and a villain, shuffled the deck, and each of our first 8 rounds, 8 matchups, will be a hero versus a villain, but we need to thin this herd quite quickly. So each of these rounds will be decided by a single roll of a Star Wars chance cube. 3 sides blue, 3 sides red. blue for heroes, red for villains. We will discuss the names, the significance of the names to us, what the characteristics of the child would be if they followed their namesake. There's lots of fun to be had here, potential antics, and we are going to decide right now. Round 1.
Round 1, fight. Can I just say how happy I am that you're using those chance cubes?
They came all the way from a galaxy far, far away.
Yes.
In
Anaheim.
California.
Hey, you can't get them at the moment. It's still shut.
Okay, Jem.
Yep.
Our opening contest. Scheduled for 1 dice roll.
For 1 fall. For 1 roll.
1 roll! Representing Mass Effect.
Ooh.
He is the Archangel Garrus Vicarian. Garrus representing the hero in the first round.
This is a name that one of my sisters, Lady Nat, has been basically calling our unborn child anyway. I think mostly just to annoy you. Because she knows how much I love Garrus.
Well, nobody wants to name their child after an ex. Let's put it that way. And that's essentially what Garrus is in our relationship. You have a gigantic statue of him. You have had
gigantic.
T-shirts of him.
Yeah.
You have a pop vinyl.
Yeah.
You don't have a gigantic statue of me. You don't have a pop vinyl of me.
I have you.
Garrus is the badass teammate, love interest, potentially, in Mass Effect and one of our collective all-time favourite characters.
Yes.
If our child followed his lead, he would obviously be an excellent marksman,
Yeah, good sniper.
a loyal friend,
Witty.
and potentially disfigured in the face due to a
Taking a rocket
savage
launcher.
rocket launcher to the face. Okay.
But that means he's hardy and can survive things too. So there's that.
Your initial thoughts if our child was named Garrus?
Oh, I don't hate it. It's got a Roman-esque sound. It works with our surname. It rolls off the tongue. It's
And your mother could call him Gary.
Yeah, or Gaz or Gaza. If you're going very Australian nicknames, there are many options.
And in the red corner, representing Red Dead Redemption, Dutch.
Ooh, it just reminds me of Dutch ovens.
Well, there may be some of those with the child, who knows. Dutch is a calculating strategist, and the good thing is he would be a good religious child
Oh yes.
because he would be telling everyone to have some darn faith. It's like his catchphrase. When all of his plans go awry, Dutch constantly tells people to have some faith in the plan. And
Yes, while he's doing illegal activity.
yes. We don't probably want a brutal, calculating, conniving scumbag as a child, but hey, it could happen. So
Isn't that on us a little bit as parents and how we raise our kid? So, yeah, I know that the name has very little impact on what the child's going to be like, but let's just hope that there's personality-wise a bit more Garrus, less Dutch.
okay, here we go. Round 1, match 1. The dice roll is being cast. It is blue. Heroes win. Garrus
Yay!
moves forward to the quarterfinals. Congratulations.
Woohoo! Getting so invested.
All right. Match 2. Representing God of War. He is boy. Atreus.
I like this name.
You do like this name.
Uh-huh.
Another Roman-ish sounding name
It
too.
is.
Well, we found your type.
I guess we have, haven't we? It's one of those names that I think a decade ago people would really scrunch their nose up at if you named your kid Atreus, but now would almost be kind of in vogue a little bit. It's just quirky enough to be like, that's such a cool name.
I think the advantage this name has too is that we just played God of War recently, where you are raising Atreus. You're looking after him, you're guiding him, you're correcting him.
And when I played it, I did warn you. I'm like, if we have a son, I'm going to name him Atreus. So this is one of the ones that has been bantered around as an option. So.
And in the red corner for round 2, representing his own game, the nightmare tempest of destruction, Goose. From Untitled Goose Game. Could you imagine having a kid named Goose?
That just seems like a nickname. Is it Top Gun where you've got Maverick and Goose?
Now, if our child behaved like Goose.
The actual Goose from Untitled Goose Game.
From Untitled Goose Game.
A kleptomaniac, sure.
Oh boy. Imagine trying to keep that thing under control.
Oh dear. You would have to watch them when you go shopping.
All right, the dice is being cast. Blue.
Woo.
Heroes win again. Our first quarterfinal will be Garrus versus Atreus.
Oh.
Battle of the Romans, apparently. Roman infighting.
Well, technically, it's a Roman versus Norse mythology.
I guess so.
So,
Matchup 3, representing Ace Attorney. He is the turnabout trial master, Phoenix. Right. Phoenix. Is that another Romanish name?
I guess so. Well, there is a pattern here.
Oh,
right?
goodness me. Here I thought we'd just shuffled all these names in with no linking things, but
That's funny.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's probably the most normal name on this entire list. I mean, I know there's a lot of kids being born in 2020 called Goose, but Phoenix is a name that sounds cool. It always does. It symbols rebirth.
Sounds like a movie star.
Now, although Phoenix Wright is obviously a paragon of justice, a good guy, he ain't that bright sometimes and sort of bluffs his way through things, gets through life situations by the seat of his pants.
Adaptability is key. He has some interesting friends.
He would, yeah, imagine bringing those friends home. Goodness me.
Oh, man.
Funnily enough, I was originally going to cast Miles Edgeworth from Phoenix Wright as one of the names because Miles, I like Edgeworth in that game. Tails from Sonic, his real name is Miles.
Yep.
Problem is, I have a nephew called Miles, so that name's sort of already reserved. And in the red corner, for match 3, representing Portal 2, he is not that smart. Wheatley!
Now, this was a finalist for one of our ferret's names.
There are a few in there.
Yes. I don't know how I'd feel about a kid being named Wheatley. Well, a lot of these villain names have been ridiculous anyway.
The villain names are the more weirder ones.
Of course they are. Yeah. I mean, I love the character of Wheatley. I don't think I would be putting that down on a birth certificate.
You don't want to give birth to a bumbling British child?
Well, that's not what's going to happen.
All right, let's cast this dice for round 3. Phoenix versus Wheatley. Blue.
Again?
Heroes. Phoenix wins.
The heroes have been kicking butt.
All right, now these are chance cubes from Star Wars. Are they loaded?
Am I using the Force?
Round 4 to set up the second quarterfinal. Representing Final Fantasy VIII. He is hashtag all for Squall. Squall!
I know you love...
Leonhardt,
I know that you love Squall.
The gaming lovers love
Not
Squall.
the name I would have chosen from the Final Fantasy franchise, but that's okay.
We are hashtag all for Squall.
Oh, dear.
What name would you have chosen?
From Final Fantasy? I like Tidus more than I like Squall.
Oh, gosh, well. Clearly you don't like Squall. All right. And in an interesting matchup, these were all shuffled. None of these matches were written down and booked by us. In the red corner, representing Final Fantasy VII, he is the one-winged angel, Sephiroth. Dun, 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 Sephiroth. That's going to be the music while you give birth.
Oh, my word.
Fearful violin strings. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm not sure. I have no real allegiance either way to these names. What about you?
Well, you like the name Seth, so we can make
Oh,
Seth,
that's true.
Sephiroth. into Seth.
That could be just what we call him, and then
The birth certificate says Seth.
when his name's getting called in roll call, the poor teacher is like, "What the heck is this name, and how do I pronounce it?"
All right, do we have Sep Hiroth? Sep Hiroth. Is there a Sep Hiroth?
Just
here?
call me Seth, teach.
All right. Squall versus... It's blue again.
Goodness, is this weighted?
Heroes win. And our second quarterfinal will be Phoenix versus Squall.
There you go.
It's been a hero clean sweep. The good guys always win in the end. But what happens when they have to fight each other? That will be the true thing. All right, second half of the bracket. This has been fun, discussing these child names. Representing for the blue corner, Persona 5. He is your mother's most hated name, Ryuji.
was legit on our list. And when we said, we were talking around, I think, lunch a few months back, and I said, oh, I really love some Japanese names like Ryuji, and my mum had her face just scrunched up.
Like she'd sucked a lemon.
Ryuji is a really nice name, and I love its meaning. It's like Dragon Man. Like, that's just so fun. And it's very common in Japan. It would be kind of equivalent to, you know, a lot of very common names like Oliver and John and stuff like that over in the West.
Yep.
So it's funny how something that's so common in one country is like considered really weird in another.
Yep.
So, anyways.
All right. Well, in the red corner, representing the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, because somebody had to be representing that franchise on this podcast. He is the ultimate life form, Shadow. I wanted a Sonic character in there, but the Heroes division was loaded. It had to be a villain, and even I have my standards and cannot call a child Eggman.
But that's not his proper name. That's his, like, a nickname. He's Dr. Robotnik. What's his proper first name?
Ivo.
Ivo.
All right. Ryuji versus Shadow.
Oh, we finally have a win for the villains.
Oh, my.
Shadow it is.
Shadow it is. Shadow moves on. Maybe the second half of the bracket's going to be all villains.
That also reminds me of the character from Arrow. The chick. Her name's Shadow.
Yeah. There's a lot of shadows. There's a shadow in Final Fantasy 4 or 6. One of the two. I played them back to back.
Yeah.
They get muddled in my head sometimes. There have been a few shadows in gaming history. And look, although technically you'd say he's more of a rival than a villain, Shadow, if you play Shadow the Hedgehog, his standalone game that's absolute garbage and you should never play it, you can choose to be good or evil in every mission. So you can go full evil. And so Shadow can be a villain. All right, round 6 out of 8 in the blue corner for the heroes, representing Kingdom Hearts. He is Keyblade Master, Sora. Sora. It means sky.
And weirdly, I feel like that would be more accepted than Ryuji. It sounds slightly more Western, so less of a scrunched up reaction from my parents.
And out of probably all the characters in this tournament, Sora is probably one of the best behaved character-wise. Probably one of the nicest.
And very self-sacrificing and caring.
So it wouldn't be a bad role model
No, not at all.
for player
And
3.
you know, gets to associate with Disney characters. Like, he's besties with Mickey and Donald and Goofy, so that's cool.
That would be cool. Okay. His opponent in the red corner. This one needs some explaining. Representing Star Fox. Andros.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is, I have 2 sisters, both of which married people called Andrew. The name Andrew is completely off the table for our child's name, but I thought it'd be fun to put something as close as possible. And there is just so happened to be a villain called Andros in the Star Fox Lilac Wars series. So let's throw it in there. He is like a giant goat head man.
Okay.
So it's even worse for giving birth, I'm sure.
Oh.
And we have Sora versus Andros.
Here we go. And blue.
Oh, heroes. Sora wins. Jem sighs a big burst of relief right there.
Did we sign a contract saying that this is actually naming our kid?
It's being recorded. It's legal evidence. All right, so that's going to be Shadow versus Sora, Sky versus Darkness. Oh, it sort of lines up, but not really. But don't look too deeply into that one.
It kind of works.
All right, let's set our final quarterfinal.
Yep.
Representing in the blue team, representing Metal Gear Solid.
Ah.
He is either a whiny blonde kid who nobody likes, or a badass cyborg ninja, Raiden.
Why can't he be both? Which is true, I guess. It's like Anakin, whiny, annoying kid, but then transforms into a cyborg badass.
Now, Raiden is a character in Metal Gear Solid. I have always liked Raiden. He has his moments.
It's a cool name.
I like him.
I believe that was one of the suggestions we got from our gender reveal party. We had people fill out little sheets, like trying to guess names, the weight, the date of when baby would be born, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I believe the good brother suggested
Mr. Steve
Raiden.
Yep.
So I like it. Although I do know the spelling confuses people because it looks like it's Raiden when it's Raiden.
Yep.
Pronunciation and spelling are a little different because it's a Japanese name and the way that they emphasize syllables is different to the West.
There is also a character in Mortal Kombat with the same name, and through primary school, myself and my friend would always call him Raiden. Maybe it's just an Australian thing. And that's probably what would happen if we named our kid Raiden, is he would get Raiden.
He'd be constantly correcting everybody.
Just call him Ray and get it over and done with.
I don't hate that name though. I think it just sounds cool. Raiden.
I like it.
All right, what's the competition?
And in the red corner, representing the Legend of Zelda series, we needed a super weird name in this tournament, and we got one
Goose
here.
wasn't one.
He is the embodiment of power. Ganondorf!
That just sounds like something you say when you're about to do, jump in a pool. Ganondorf!
Oh my gosh, I know what I'm saying next time there's a pool party.
Say it in Andy Samberg's voice as well. The guy plays Jake in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, see, I always pictured it as Anchorman.
Oh,
Ron Burgundy.
That works too.
Ganondorf! Raiden versus Ganondorf. Good versus evil. What's it going to be? It's blue. Raiden wins.
Riding for the win.
He's riding towards victory.
Sunset riding.
So far, we've had 7 out of our 8 matches, and 6 of which have been won by the heroes. Who's booking this tournament?
One villain.
It's good for us, though, because most of the hero names are names we actually like.
Yes.
As opposed to
We've eliminated a lot of the weird ones.
I was trying to make this as interesting as possible, but no, the heroes won't have it.
The chance die goes, no dice for you.
All right. Our final first round matchup, representing The Witcher. He is The Witcher. Geralt. A name that's 1 letter away, I believe, possibly, from my grandfather's name.
Was it Gerald?
It was Gerald. So
There you
there's
go.
some history there.
But it's also a name that wouldn't be as weird now, thanks to the Netflix series, making it a little bit more mainstream. More people are at least aware of it.
Yep.
So,
And if he did follow after Geralt's footsteps, he would have cat eyes and silver hair. So
would
he
not
would
be able to have any kids though. So
would
where's the grandchildren?
Oh, I suppose that's true. Guess we'll have to have another kid then. All right, and our final villain. It's not really a first name, but it doesn't matter. Representing the Resident Evil series.
Oh, great.
Wesker.
Whisker?
Wesker.
Whisker? What?
Albert Wesker. He wears sunglasses. He's cool.
So
he
would
also
it
has
be-
cat's eyes.
Would it be Albert
No, it's going to be Wesker.
Oh, okay.
He also, I didn't realise this, but he also has cat's eyes.
All right, I guess Battle of the Cat's Eyes.
Battle of the Cat's Eyes, Geralt versus Wesker. She was shaking the dice again. It's an audio podcast. Jem's just getting electrocuted by a bad wire. I cannot believe this. Heroes win again.
Woohoo!
Geralt moves on to face Raiden in our final quarterfinal matchup. We have Garrus versus Atreus, Phoenix versus Squall, Shadow, the lone villain, versus Sora, and Raiden versus Geralt.
If our kid was named Shadow, I'd be saying it like Gollum for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Shadow.
So are there any names on that list that you're cheering for or any that you're cheering against?
There's a couple that we had discussed previously, so there are a few I would legitimately consider. So, yeah. I'm too scared to actually say them now because they're going to get eliminated in the next round. What about you?
Yeah, like you said, there's a few in there. I mean, to be fair, all the villains were goofy names. If we eliminate Shadow, I'm pretty much happy with any winner after that. But there is a twist. It's going to be a middle name decided, and all of the names are eligible for that. We'll be back with our quarterfinal matchups after this.
Double Shadow.
You're listening to the Gaming Lovers Podcast. Want to join the conversation? Visit thegaminglovers.com. Record your comment or question by clicking on the button on the right-hand side, and you could be featured in the next podcast.
So we're back with the Great Eight, the top 8 names that have been decided through our elimination tournament. When we get to the semis and the main event, there's going to be a very different way that these are going to be decided. It's going to be a lot more action-packed, but we need to continue to thin this herd. So this time, we're going to give them a fighting chance. It's going to be the best 2 out of 3 dice rolls to eliminate 4 more names from our contest.
All right, let's do this blitz round.
Go straight into it. We've already discussed these names.
Yeah, we don't need to go over it again. So we've got 1 chance die, and let's add the other 2 now with their dice.
We have 3. Best 2 out of 3. You can roll them all at once if you'd like, or you can do one at a time to build the suspense. Yes, that's very loud. Garrus is blue. Atreus is red for our first round.
And the winner is...
Garrus. In 3 straight dice. Unbelievably, Garrus is unstoppable.
Lady Nat will be so pleased.
Unstoppable. Your thoughts at Atreus being removed from the equation?
Oh, a little sad. Garrus Atreus. If that was a middle name, would that be too much? Garrus Atreus.
Sounds like you're rhyming. All right, let's get to our second round and eliminate either Phoenix, who will be the blue team, or Squall on the red team.
I'm going to do something different. Instead of dropping them into the box, I'm going to close the lid on the box and shake it and then reveal it.
Oh.
Just because, yeah.
Very clever. All right.
All right, and the winner is stacked on top of each other.
Oh.
Let's move that one down. 2 red, 1 blue.
2 red, 1 blue. Squall, not as convincing a win.
Has eliminated Phoenix.
Squall. Hashtag all for Squall.
All right, did you like that method? I think I'll do it again.
Let's do that again.
All right, who's up next?
Shadow, which I know he's a villain, but we're sticking with blue in the first bracket.
Column, yep.
Red in the second. So Shadow will be blue. Sora from Kingdom Hearts will be red.
Yokai.
We will shaky the box. And what do we got?
2 red, 1 blue.
2 red, 1 blue. All the villains have been eliminated from this tournament. Unbelievably.
The funny thing is, like, we're finally getting reds. I've changed my method of rolling the dice to shaking.
Okay, and our final quarterfinal.
Yep.
Blue, Raiden from Metal Gear. Mm-hmm. Red, Geralt from The Witcher. Okay. You have got very enthusiastic about this, haven't you?
Oh, it's the same.
it's...
Are they moving?
Oh, they're glued to the bottom of the box. No. 2 red, 1 blue, which means that Geralt moves forward
Raiden.
to the...
Okay. See,
Semi.
this is why you don't get connected to stuff.
Interestingly enough, the only character that clean sweeped the field was Garrus. 3 points for Garrus, 0 to Atreus. Atreus is done.
Aww.
Garrus moves forward into the first semi-final against Squall, hashtag all for Squall, who won 2-1 over Phoenix. The second semi is going to be Sora, 2-1 over Shadow, against Geralt, who won 2-1 over Raiden.
Yes. So how are we determining the semi-finals?
Well, if you wouldn't mind, while I go and fetch our device to decide this, please explain how we decide what movie to watch.
Yeah. It's a method that we haven't used in a little while. But when, early in our marriage in particular, when we would have movies we wanted to watch, we would put Super Smash Bros. On, have all AI-operated characters, super strong, let them blitz it out. I think they would have stock lives, so that would be process of elimination. And each character was allocated to a movie. For the longest time, I won. I think I had a winning streak of like 10 movies in a row, to the point where I think I had maybe 1 movie, and Brendo got to have 3 movies.
The odds should not have been that imbalanced, and yet you still win.
So we are bringing it back for this. So are we having 2 semi-finals and then a grand final?
Yes, indeed. The 2 semi-finals will be contested under 200 HP stamina fights in Smash Bros. Ultimate. 2 randomly assigned computer players on Final Destination with no items. It will be contested under the most pure Smash Brothers rules there could possibly be, with us doing live commentary, and it's going to be very exciting. The grand final will be assessed under the similar rules, but with more HP, making it a more back-and-forth match, potentially.
Potentially.
Potentially. If someone just falls off the edge, it could be over very quickly. So, chosen in Player 1 slot will be the character representing Garrus. We won't know who it is until the match starts.
Yep.
Player 2 will be representing Squall. 200 HP, Final Destination, 1 life, 200
Let's
health.
do this.
This is exciting. Stamina battle. And of course, the CPU will be set to the highest possible level.
Yeah, make it go fast.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Garrus versus Squall. Ready to fight. Ike is representing Garrus. Rosalina representing Squall. We're here, live in the semi-final.
Oh, and Gareth's already taken a bit of a beating. Oh, Rosalina nearly going off the edge, but she makes a recovery. Gosh, stop fighting near the edge, people.
Garrus is running on less HP to start off this fight, but he's turned the tables and takes the lead.
And now it's almost like dead even.
This is actually very exciting. Squall down to 124 health. Garrus 132. Oh, it's dropped again. It's high action here. Who's going to be the first one to go beneath 100 HP?
Probably Gareth by this rate. No, don't fall, Gareth.
The battle's at the edge
okay.
at the platform.
This is stressing me out. I don't like
it.
it when they fight right near the edge.
It's not good for a pregnant woman.
No.
They have simultaneously dropped beneath 100 health.
Has she lost her little star friend?
He'll be back in a
Okay.
little bit.
Oh, and Squall has
Gareth.
fallen to about 50, or under 50.
Oh, they've fallen. They have fallen.
Oh, that's an intense amount of recovery. I didn't realise that she could recover that well.
That's incredible recovery. Squall's down to 25 health. 12 health left for Squall. Hashtag all for Squall. Garrus,
At
as long as he
47.
doesn't muck this up. He's getting nervous, though. He's flipped. Squall is on 0.3% of a health, and Squall is defeated. Garrus moves on, continuing his pure undefeated streak. Incredible. Incredible.
Oh, there you go.
That actually got my heart rate boosted. That was exciting.
Well done, Garrus.
Garrus moves on. All right. Our second semi-final. Mm-hmm. Garrus has made the finals. Like you said, Lady Nat will be very happy that her pick has made it this far. Again, same rules, 200 health. It's going to be Sora being represented by the first player and Geralt. I wrote
Sora.
Gerald on my notes.
Sora versus Geralt in 3, 2, 1, fight!
Sora being represented by Ridley.
Ridley, oh my word.
And Geralt is an inkling.
That seems a bit backwards. Oh my word. And already Geralt
me.
is taking a beating.
Sora is absolutely demolishing Geralt. 200 health. Sora yet to be hit, and the inkling representing Geralt is already down to 140. Except, oh gosh, I thought Sora just botched that then.
It's so hard for me to remember like who they're representing because I just keep looking at the figures that are actually on the screen. Ooh.
Geralt has made an incredible combo, bringing Sora down to 113.
Sora's in trouble then.
Almost perfectly
under
equal.
100 already.
Sora is choking in this lead.
Geralt is a monster hunter, so it kind of makes sense.
You've picked poorly, Sora.
Oh, and he's down to like 57 health.
Oh,
31 health.
Sora is in massive trouble here, down to 14 health.
Sora needs some hearts.
Geralt at 85, and it's eliminated. It's down to Geralt and Garrus. The letter G has dominated this tournament. Your thoughts?
This has been very tense.
Now, we will just take this out for a second.
Uh-huh.
Because we have our finalists.
Yes.
It's going to be Garrus from Mass Effect versus Geralt from The Witcher.
Yep.
2 RPG names. So, look, the mother's happy. But we need to take a break now and decide our middle name. And all 16 names are eligible. Because we don't just have chance cubes. We don't just have video games representing this. We have an entire bingo ball collection.
Share the love. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Gaming Lovers.
All right, so right here, we have a bingo ball machine. What's it even called?
I don't know.
It's one of those large lottery. So the way this is going to work to decide our middle name is going to be a 16-ball draw. First ball out, based on their original standings in the tournament bracket lineups. Mm-hmm. That will decide the child's middle name. And true to form in the video game landscape, just like our great hero, Mario, from the Mario Brothers, that's his actual name, we can have back-to-back of the same name. So if Garrus or Geralt show up, we could have the same name back-to-back, first and middle name.
What is the universe telling us?
Now, we've had quite a few family and friends recently who have had kids who have had multiple middle names.
Yes.
We're going to keep it nice and simple. First one in. Is there anything that you would like as a middle name? I think you're on the Garrus Atreus bandwagon, aren't you?
I do like both those names. I don't know if they would work well together. But yeah, let's just have some fun.
All right, let's go.
All right. And the number is?
What's the lucky number?
11.
11. All right, just give me a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sora will be player 3's middle name. It's official.
Sora, just after getting eliminated before, back in the race.
Hey, at least
Not
he was
going to be denied.
At least he performed well. We have our middle name. It is time for our grand final.
All right.
Do you have a preference either way?
I think you know what I would lean towards out of those two.
All right. Well, I want Geralt because it is close to my grandfather's name. So we have each got
A horse in the race?
a horse in the race, a
All
dog
right.
in the fight. Same rules. First player, Garrus. Second player, Geralt.
All right.
May the best name win. 500 health on the board for this one.
Young Link representing Garrus and Falco. Representing Geralt.
My main character, Falco. He's almost fallen straight off the map.
Come on, Link.
Young Link is having some problems getting some hits in on Falco.
They're relatively even at... Oh, I spoke too soon. Just got blown up a little bit there. Garrus.
Almost dead even as we approach the 450 mark. Each.
It's like literally... Well, just as I'm about to say, like, their health, it changes.
Risky move there by Geralt. Flown off the map to chase down Garrus. Geralt is relentless. He will not give Garrus any space.
Garrus is hanging on by a thread at this stage.
Garrus
still has plenty of health, but keeps getting knocked off the edge. Oh, Garrus took a bit of a beating.
Yeah, Geralt appears to be the better fighter in this early point. He's landed the heavy hits, the quick hits, doesn't matter. He's connecting with everything, but...
Oh.
Yeah, right there. That's going to decide it. Oh, fancy block, though. Let's not forget that Garrus, being young Link, does have a lot of options combat-wise. He's got boomerangs, he's got swords, he's got shields, he's got arrows, he's got bombs.
He keeps getting blown up, though. I haven't seen Geralt take much of the damage. Oh, now we're finally back to an even playing field.
Yeah, we have closed the gap considerably as we approach the 300 health points. A mere 15 HP between them, and, oh goodness, Garrus getting risky on those moves.
Stop stressing me out.
I'm just here to let the best name win.
Alright, we're down to about the 250 mark health-wise. Halfway point. Who do you think, based off what we've seen so far, is going to win?
Well, I don't think Geralt has given up the lead since the first fight, the first contact of the match.
No, that was a good chunk of 50 points of health between them.
Although, Garrus laying the combo in has closed the gap to almost nothing.
And now he's in the lead.
And Geralt is the first one under 200 health. It's anybody's game as we close in. The plays are getting riskier too. Look at them combating near the edge. Oh my goodness.
I have sweaty hands. I'm not even playing the game. I'm just watching. It's making me...
Garrus just threw a bomb at himself, which is not good.
He moved out of the way in the nick of time. We all know he can take a rocket to the face.
Garrus, the first one under 150 health, but has absolutely walloped Geralt in that final exchange.
Oh, and now they're both sitting at 120. Oh, and just like that, Garrus is under 100 health. He's sitting on 74. No.
74 versus 115. There's been a mistake. They've both fallen off the edge. Oh. It's tight combat here right at the end of the last 100 health each. Who is going to land the dominant blow?
Oh,
Geralt with
Garrus
a whipping combo.
Just under 60 health.
It's 54 to 101. Can Garrus, if he's going to pull out the clutch move, it's got to be now.
Whew.
Oh, someone's botched it near the edge. Oh, what are you doing, Garrus?
Oh.
Garrus down to 20 health. Geralt 88. He just keeps the pressure on this Witcher. He just will not give his opponent an inch of space. Garrus has been defeated with a whopping 88.0 health remaining. Geralt Sora is officially our child's name. Officially. You heard it here first. Hey, The Witcher has dominated the video game sales. He has dominated Netflix recently. He's a popular boy. And so we have our responsibility to honour the gaming world. Geralt Sora. It's been chosen by scientifically perfect formula. My granddaddy would be so proud.
It's probably the first time you've won a horse race using Smash Bros. In a very long time. So well done.
Excellent fun. That was enjoyable. If we ever have another child, we're going to have to do the same thing. Hopefully it's a girl so we can do the other side of the field.
Yes.
Fantastic work. Good work, Jem. Good work, Brendo. Good work, Geralt.
Very funny stuff. Let's just get straight into our future gaming goals now that we have our child's name locked, apparently.
Look, tick that one off the box.
Decision done.
He would be an excellent horse rider, though, which is very good. It's good to know.
Yes. Oh, dear.
Gaming goals.
Yes.
Let's set them for the coming week with the big obvious question mark of, will we have a baby? Possibly.
In the meantime, while we wait, Dark Souls?
Yes. Now, I took a glimpse because I wanted to try and get a rough percentage of knowing how far in I am. Mm-hmm. So I just looked at a list of locations and I went down and saw how many I've been to and how many there are left to go to. And I'm still only like 2/3 of the way through this game, excluding DLC. I did find one of the DLC areas, which had this enormous chain going through the snowy wind towards this mountain, and it looked awesome, and I was terrified walking across that chain that something was just going to swoop down and attack me, but it was awe-inspiring, and I'm very excited to explore that area. I'd completely forgotten about that one, because I found it, and I went, no, I'm not going here. I'm going elsewhere for now. So I don't think I'm going to beat it. But I think I'm definitely going to get one step closer. Last week I set a few areas and 2 bosses as my goal. I blew that away this week. So I think find 4 new areas and defeat 4 bosses this week. That's the standard I'm setting. And that gigantic rat that ate me in 2 seconds flat, I'm going to get revenge on him too. Him and the smelter demon. I'm getting my revenge on both of them.
Okay.
Lock me in.
Locked in.
As locked in as Geralt Sora is.
This week, as I continue playing The Outer Worlds, I'll see if I can get off this planet.
Yes, that's what I was going to challenge you with, so I'm glad that you're in agreement.
It just feels like the next big... Well, I've got to go get that ship part. So I haven't decided yet which side I want to side with. So, dilemmas.
It does it so well. The Outer Worlds does those faction against faction moral dilemmas so well.
Yes.
And there's always more than just 2 answers as well.
Mm-hmm. Which is good, though. Good.
Very good.
Replayability. It means I can go through and be completely awful to people in another playthrough if I want to. It's always fun to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If I ever have, the time and energy in the future, goodness, even just this past year has been abysmal as far as my gaming and motivation, so...
Completely excusable, though. You are growing another human inside of you, and that human is a mutant, so that's even more draining, I believe.
Oh, does that mean they're going to be ostracized? No one likes witches.
No, but they pay them well.
They do get lots of ladies.
Oh. My boy, the heartthrob.
I don't know if I want that. Or at least as the mother, I don't know if I want to know about that. This got awkward real quick. Okay. Thanks for joining us this week on the Gaming Lovers podcast for what has been a slightly unusual but fun topic.
I've had a good time.
I've enjoyed it too. I don't know if anyone else has really cared, but I found it fun.
And look, although we said this was the official deciding of the name, if you have any suggestions that you think are better than Geralt Sora, let us know.
Please do. Hit us up at thegaminglovers.com or on social media. Until next week.
Chowski!
Sayonara.
Hashtag all for squall. I'm still all in on that.
Thanks for listening to the Gaming Lovers podcast. For more episodes or to watch some live stream gaming, visit thegaminglovers.com.